Hello, I'm Eleanor Fast, Executive Director of Equal Voice. Equal Voice is a multi-partisan, not-for-profit organization dedicated to electing more women at all levels of office. Concerns about online safety are one of the top issues that we hear about from women considering getting involved in politics. So I'm thrilled to share this candidate safety training video that we've developed in collaboration with our partners at Facebook Canada. This resource builds on Her Voice, Facebook Safety Tips for Women Leaders, a guide that we developed to help political candidates and their teams stay safe while connecting with new audiences. Up next, you'll hear from Rachel Curran, Public Policy Manager, and Jennifer Hanley, Head of Safety Policy at Facebook, as well as from Esmahan Razavi, a former candidate and Equal Voice volunteer. We hope that this is a resource that you can come back to at any time, and thank you for tuning in. Over to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Eleanor. Hi, I'm Rachel Curran, Public Policy Manager at Facebook Canada. At Facebook, we get the incredible opportunity to engage directly with women in all walks of public life, including women like you who are actively working to improve your communities. As you communicate with your constituents and potential voters online, I want you to know that we take a comprehensive approach to making our platform a safer place for women, including writing clear policies about what is and isn't allowed, engaging with experts, and developing cutting-edge technology to help you connect safely. And we're very proud to continue our long-standing partnership with Equal Voice to create tools and resources like this safety training video. I'd also encourage you to check out our new Women's Safety Hub, updated Facebook safety tips for women leaders, as well as dedicated resources we've developed for candidates running for office in Canada. We hope you find these tips useful as you continue to engage with your constituents and your communities on Facebook. And now let's dig into some safety best practices.
Facebook profile safety tools. On Facebook, personal profiles represent individual people. Your profile is a collection of the photos, stories, and experiences that tell your own story. Your profile also includes your timeline. You can have up to 5,000 personal friends and an unlimited number of followers. If you need to connect with more than 5,000 people, you can change your personal account to a Facebook page. Facebook account security. Passwords help protect your private information and social media accounts. Don't share your passwords with other people. Use passwords that are hard to guess. Make sure your password is at least 8 characters long and uses a combination of numbers, letters, and special characters like punctuation marks. When you enable alerts about unrecognized logins, Facebook will send you a notification if someone tries logging into your account from a device or browser that you haven't used before. Activate two-factor authentication. When you turn on login approvals, you'll be asked to enter a special security code each time you try to access your Facebook account from a new computer, phone, or browser. Log out of unused devices. The Where You're Logged In section of your security settings shows you a list of browsers and devices that have been used to log in to your account recently. To confirm that you have logged out of the browsers or devices listed, click on End Activity. Facebook privacy controls. Tools such as the Privacy Checkup, View As tool, and blocking have been created to give people the power to control their experience on Facebook, understand their privacy settings, and manage human interactions online as efficiently as possible. On Facebook, every time you share something, you choose exactly who can see it: public, friends, a customized list of specific friends, or even just you. With every post, you can select your audience. Therefore, people have one-click control over the visibility of every single status update, comment, note, photo, or video that they choose to post on Facebook. And in case you change your mind or made a mistake, you can change the audience selected at any time after a post is made. In addition to giving people tools to control the audience, you can block anyone you don't want to interact with for any reason whatsoever. People choose who they want to be friends with, and they can ignore anyone by unfollowing them. If someone blocks someone else on Facebook, the blocked person is not told, and neither person can see each other, interact, or communicate. Another option available is to unfriend someone, and the person will not be notified, and you will no longer appear on that person's friends list. Choose who can comment. There are many tools that allow you to have control over who sees your content and who can comment on your content. One way to control who can comment is to change the audience of a post or change your settings for all public posts. In addition, you can change who can comment on an individual public post on your profile. You can choose to allow the public, just your friends, or only the profile and pages you mention to comment on that individual public post. Reporting. If you see anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or violates our community standards, you can report it to Facebook. Reporting is quick and easy, and any piece of content can be reported to our team. Make sure you report the actual piece of content that is abusive, for example, a photo or a comment under a video, and not the full page or profile. If the entire page, profile, or group violates our community standards, you can report the page, profile, or group by clicking on the 3 dots under the cover photo. Reporting is completely anonymous, and you only need to report the content once for it to be evaluated against our policies. Once you've reported something for not following our community standards, you can check the status of your report from your support inbox, which can be found by logging in and visiting at facebook.com/support. Facebook page and group admin safety tools. Public figures can create a page to connect with their constituents or fans on Facebook. Pages look similar to personal profiles, but they offer unique tools to engage with your audience. Pages can be managed by multiple people who have personal profiles with different levels of permissions. Ensure page admins use real accounts since Facebook is based on authentic identities. This promotes greater accountability and respect, and a safer experience for everyone. We remove fake and impersonating accounts when we become aware of them. To ensure page admins don't lose access to their accounts, make sure all admins are using their real Facebook accounts and not fake accounts. There are 6 different roles for people who help manage pages. When you create a page, you automatically become the page's admin, which means only you can change how the page looks or publish as that page. You can then assign roles to other people to help you manage your page. Each person will log into their own personal account and work on the page from there. You don't need to share any passwords to have multiple people help manage your page. It's important for anyone with a role on the page to set up 2-factor authentication and follow the security procedures mentioned previously. Utilize page moderation tools. For pages, we give people control over what content they share, who can contact them, and with whom they share, and more. You can allow visitors to your page to publicly post, including posting photos and videos. You can also choose to review posts before they're published. You are able to control who can send private direct messages to your page. You can also determine who can tag your page, photos, and videos. Utilize keyword and profanity filters. You can hide or delete individual comments. When you hide a comment from a post on your page, the comment will only be visible to the person who wrote it and their friends. When you delete a comment from a post on your page, the comment will be permanently removed from the post. You can also proactively moderate comments and posts by visitors by blocking words and turning on the profanity filter for your page. You can block different degrees of profanity from appearing on your page. We determine what to block by using the most commonly reported words and phrases marked offensive by the community. You can unhide comments that contain blocked words by going to the comment and clicking Unhide. Please note, there's also a comment filter for individual profiles. Under Settings, go to Profile and Tagging, then View and Sharing. You can choose to hide comments containing certain words. You can ban people who publish harmful content on your page. You can also choose to unban them at any time. When you ban someone from your page, they'll still be able to share content from your page to other places on Facebook, but they'll no longer be able to publish to your page like or comment on your page's posts, message your page, or like your page. You may also remove someone who likes your page. When you remove someone from your page, they'll no longer like it. This is a good option for people you don't want following your page's post in their news feed or the news feeds of their friends. However, pages are public spaces, and people you removed can choose to like your page again. Safety tips for group admins. As a group administrator, knowing safety tips specific for managing your group is key to the role. Clearly state the group's mission and code of conduct and choose the privacy of the group. Approve new member requests. If you're a group admin, you can choose to approve who joins your group by turning on membership approval under the group settings option. You can sort, filter, and bulk accept or decline membership requests. If you have a closed group, you can also set up to 3 questions for people who request to join your group. Review posts before they appear. Admins can choose to approve posts before they appear in your group. If you opt for this, you'll get notified when there's pending posts for you to approve. Report violations to Facebook. As a group admin, you'll see a notification in your group when someone reports a post to you. This feature lets group members highlight posts for you to review for any reason. Instagram safety tools. Instagram account security. As mentioned previously, you should always make sure that your passwords are really strong and include a mix of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Use unique passwords for each of your accounts. In addition, if you set up 2-factor authentication, you'll be asked to enter a special login code sent by SMS or confirm your login attempt through a third-party authentication app each time someone tries accessing Instagram from a device we don't recognize. Managing Instagram comments. Proactively, we notify people when their captions or comments may be considered offensive and give them a chance to pause and reconsider their words before posting. We use machine learning to detect if someone is using bullying language and terminology. There are several ways you can choose to control who comments on your post, by user or by turning off commenting completely in a given post. You can delete individual and multiple comments at a time. We've seen that tags and mentions can be used to target others, so we've introduced controls that allow you to manage who can tag or mention you in a caption, comment, or story on Instagram. You can choose whether you want everyone, only people you follow, or no one to be able to tag or mention you. You can decide to turn on our hide offensive comments feature. Comments that may be inappropriate, offensive, or bullying are automatically filtered out from your posts, stories, and live videos. You can also filter profane and abusive comments from your post and add custom keywords you wish to block. The manual filter will hide comments that contain specific words, phrases, numbers, or emojis that you'd like to avoid. Choose who you interact with. You can protect your Instagram account from unwanted interactions with the feature called Restrict. Restrict is designed to empower you to quietly protect your account without completely blocking the other user. Once Restrict is enabled, comments on your post from a person you have restricted will only be visible to that person. You can choose to view the comment by tapping See Comment. Then you can approve the comment so everyone can see it, delete it, or ignore it. You won't receive any notifications for comments from a restricted account. Direct messages will automatically move to message request, and you will not receive notification from any restricted account. You can still view the messages, but the restricted account will not be able to see when you've read their direct messages or when you are active on Instagram. You can choose to unrestrict the account, and future messages will go directly to your inbox. Even though we still want to be friends online with someone, it doesn't necessarily mean we want to see everything they post. If you don't want to see someone's post or stories in your feed, but you don't want to unfollow them or block them, you can mute them. They won't be notified about this, and you can turn off mute at any time. Blocking. There are many reasons why you might want to prevent someone from seeing your content. To block someone, simply tap the 3 dots menu on their profile and tap Block User. That person will no longer be able to view your photos or videos or search for your Instagram profile. People aren't notified when you block them. Reporting Instagram content. When it comes to reporting content, we encourage you to always report content via the Instagram platform. You can report an account, post, comment, or video by clicking on the three dots next to the content. There you'll have the option to report it for spam or for being inappropriate. Then you'll be taken through to another screen where you can select which of our policies you believe it violates. To report a comment, slide the comment to the left and click the exclamation mark. To report a direct message, long press on the direct message and you will see the report button pop up. Remember that when you report a direct message, you need to tap and hold the exact message that you want to report. It helps our team identify what you're reporting more quickly. Please remember that whenever you report something to us, the user you've reported isn't notified. Once a report is made, we review it and remove anything that goes against the community standards. We'll also keep you updated on the status of your report in the support requests section under Help in Settings on Instagram. Reporting really does help us keep the platform safe. Messenger safety tools. Choose who can send you messages. You decide whether message requests go to your chats list, your message request folder, or whether to receive them at all. You can choose to receive chats or not from people with your phone number, friends of friends on Facebook, accounts you follow or have chatted with on Instagram, or your followers on Instagram. Ignore messages. If someone is being harassed, blocking the abuser sometimes prompts additional harassment, particularly offline. We have heard from groups that work with survivors of domestic violence that being able to see messages is often a valuable tool to assess if there is risk of additional abuse. You can tap on a message to ignore the conversation. This disables notifications and moves the conversation from your inbox to your filtered messages folder. You can read messages in the conversation without the sender seeing if they've been read. As part of our ongoing efforts to provide people with a safer, more private messaging experience, we've introduced a forwarding limit on Messenger, so messages can only be forwarded to 5 people or groups at a time. Limiting forwarding is an effective way to slow the spread of harmful content that has the potential to cause real-world harm. WhatsApp safety tools. You control what you see on WhatsApp. You can block any number or leave any group you want. Use these features to control your WhatsApp experience. WhatsApp privacy controls. As a private messaging service, WhatsApp has taken several steps over the years to help keep conversations personal and safe. You can limit who sees your profile photo and about information to everyone, contacts, or nobody. You can also use the same limits for your last seen information and who sees your updates on status. Choose who adds you to WhatsApp groups. As people turn to WhatsApp groups for important conversations, we're making sure users have more control over their experiences. We've added a privacy setting and invite system to help you decide who can add you to groups. To enable it, go to Settings in your app, then tap Privacy, Groups, and select one of 3 options: Everyone, My Contacts, or My Contacts Except. My Contacts means only users you have in your address book can add you to groups, and My Contacts Except provides additional control for who among your contacts can add you to a group. In those cases, an admin who can't add you to a group will be prompted to send a private invite through an individual chat, giving you the choice of joining the group. As a reminder, you can only connect with someone on WhatsApp if you already have their phone number. Block unwanted contacts. The very first time you get a message from someone outside of your address book, it asks if you want to block. You can stop receiving messages, calls, and status updates from certain contacts by blocking them. Simply go into your menu or settings and choose Account and then Privacy. In there you will find the block option where you can choose people or multiple people. If you change your mind about blocking someone, you can always unblock in your settings. We encourage you to report problematic users or groups so we can help to keep WhatsApp a safe place for us to communicate with each other. You can report a user or group at any time by tapping the profile or group name and scrolling down to the Report Contact option. WhatsApp also proactively shows you the option to report a user directly inside a chat when you receive a message from an unknown number for the first time. Resources. In addition to the tools we've created to help people stay safe on our platforms, we also offer access to the help and resources people might need to ensure their online and sometimes offline safety. Visit the Facebook and Instagram help centers for detailed information about a wide range of topics. Education is a key pillar of creating a culture where people treat each other with respect. Together with safety advocates, academics, government, and industry, we use our platform to raise awareness about staying safe online. The Facebook Safety Center walks people through our approach to safety, as well as the tools we offer to control your experience on Facebook. It includes numerous tips and resources for safe and secure sharing. It is available in over 55 languages, is mobile-friendly, includes step-by-step videos, and connects people with more than 75 safety partner organizations from around the world. Thank you for participating in this online training, and thank you for helping us ensure that Facebook and our family of apps are safe for women and all users.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Hanley, North American Head of Safety Policy at Facebook. We know that having an online presence can be a really helpful way for candidates, politicians, and women engaged in all aspects of public life to reach the communities that you serve and express your views on issues that you're passionate about. My team at Facebook is focused on partnerships, policies, tools, and resources to help keep people safe, and we work to help ensure you're equipped to safely engage with your communities across our platforms. I'm really thrilled to be joined today by Esmahan Razavi. She's a fierce champion of women engaged in civic action, a gender equity advocate, a former candidate, co-founder of Ask Her, and a longtime Equal Voice champion. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, Esmahan.
Thank you so much for having me, Jennifer. I'm really excited to be having this conversation with you and to helping women who are going to be running feel safe online so that they can win their campaigns without worrying about the nasty stuff.
Exactly. So we'll talk a little bit about that and some of your experiences that you can bring to this discussion. As a former candidate and having held senior campaign roles for women candidates in federal and provincial politics, I wanted to ask you about some of the top questions that you hear from women running for office and what guidance you can offer to help them create a safe and constructive online environment.
Thanks. So, I think a lot of the top questions that I have are around trolling on social media and how to deal with that. And so I always tell women, don't be afraid to put your safety first. And if you are in a situation where you feel uncomfortable, go ahead and block or anything like that. So number one, safety first. And that's a question that gets asked a lot. And number two is how do I be engaging on social media? And I think that people really need to be authentic and true to their personalities. When I ran for office, I was in my late 20s, and boomerangs and Instagram were a really big thing. And I really thought they were cute. So I used them a lot. And, if that's what your personality is like or what your demographic is interested in, do that. If you like to write long tweet threads, write those. If you, want to use Facebook to write out long posts about why you care about something, do that. Really kind of use social media to highlight who you are as a person and to communicate with people who you wouldn't get a chance to talk to otherwise. So those are kind of the top questions or the kind of big two things that we get asked a lot.
I think that's really great to hear about some of the things that you did to engage with people. How did social media help you through those different techniques you're using reach different audience or potential constituents? And did it help you kind of break through any barriers in a way that you may not be able to in real life?
I think absolutely. When I ran for office, I would say I was like a no name. I didn't have a huge political background. My parents didn't come from politics or anything like that. I actually immigrated to Canada when I was 13 and didn't really get involved in politics until I was in my mid 20s. So for me, social media was really, really important because it allowed me to kind of establish my brand, which sounds really cheesy, I know, but I have always viewed social media as a place where I can express myself about things that I really care about, gender equity or anti-racism or things like that. So use social media again to kind of put yourself out there and share your opinions of the world. And a lot of people will be like, hey, I really like what candidate X is saying, I'm going to follow her now, or I'm going to like her page, or something like that. So yeah, use it as a platform. And it was hugely important for me in that way. And then again, because I was like a young woman running, I knew that I kind of had to like overcome some perceptions about me, like that maybe people would think I wasn't serious enough or like wasn't ready to do the job. So I kind of leaned into my youngness a little bit, and also tried to show myself to be like really active in the community. So I posted pictures of every event I was at, every door knocking shift I had. I took lots of photos with my volunteers. Like I said, when I ran, boomerang was a thing, so we used that. I know like Instagram reels and stuff are really big now. So those are like exciting things that people can use to kind of engage in things differently. I pay a lot of attention to US politics. And I know that, AOC, for example, does her like Instagram lives, which are really exciting as well. So yeah, use it to kind of, I think, again, like accentuate parts of your personality, communicate with new people, and build a following. Because, how many of us are like scrolling our Facebook feeds and our Instagram feeds and kind of looking for that sort of thing. So I think it's a really great way to connect with people.
It's great to hear that you were thoughtful about your digital footprint and kind of some of the things that you wanted to share about yourself to help people understand who you were as a whole person and as a candidate, and kind of what you might be able to bring to them and how you're engaged in the community. What other information do you think that candidates should share online? I like some of those tips about using Reels or other things like that.
Yeah, I think they should be really engaging in terms of what their thoughts are on certain opinions. And you can do it in a really cool way. You don't have to write like a 10-paragraph essay about why you disagreed with a certain thing that came out. But, maybe you can do like a 30-second video that you post. Videos are way more engaging than text sometimes. Again, I think you can show yourself out there in the community. Someone once told me, if it's not on social media, it didn't happen. So don't assume that people know that you're like out there in your community doing work. Really show that you're doing that. And then I would say like, what I kind of thought about doing also was, and I didn't do this enough because my area that I ran in was like predominantly English speaking, but you can also write and speak in different languages if that's important in your constituency. So it kind of allows you to be a little bit more fluid with the way that you're communicating. It might be expensive, for example, if you're running in a riding or in an electoral district that has like 3 or 4 predominant languages to create postcards in all those languages, but you can write posts or do videos and post them for free. And then people can, listen to you in their native language. So I think it's really like, people have to remember that social media, it can be like a way to get yourself out there in a way that isn't expensive generally, unless you're buying tons of ads, which are great to do as well. But that's like a secondary thing, I think.
And so these are great tips, I think, for everyone who's thinking about running or is running right now. And, really great ways to communicate and to share, just as women offline face challenges, we know that women public figures face challenges online. What are some of the things that you did to protect yourself as you were sharing all this information and reaching new people through social media? Are there any tips or tools that you use to help you?
Yeah, thanks. That's a really important question. It's something that, I talk to a lot of women candidates on a regular basis, and it's something that I think actually really deters women from running sometimes because it's scary. And we see examples of like, people like Michelle Rempel on one side of the political spectrum, and then Catherine McKenna on the other side of the spectrum. And, racialized women are even more vulnerable to this kind of thing. So again, for me, safety should be the number one priority for any person who is running for office. If somebody says something to you like, oh, you're stupid for having that opinion, okay, whatever, right? They're entitled to that opinion. We live in a democracy, so they can say that. But if somebody says something to you where you suddenly feel threatened, don't be afraid to block. I definitely blocked a few people because I felt like they were, kind of in that harassing territory. So that is something that I was not afraid to do. And I think you really have to, if you notice that you are getting that kind of like harassing behavior, people actually don't realize that it is harder to get a restraining order or things like that you might need. So you really need to document what happens, take screenshots, keep them. And, don't be afraid to let the police know if you feel like your safety is at risk. I talked to a woman once who was actually an elected official, and she told me, once she had a man, and this is obviously not online, but she had a man drive by her house and then kind of send her a DM later being like, I drove by your house and I know that your kids live there. And she was really upset about that. So, if that kind of thing ever happens to you, do not be afraid to reach out to the authorities and put your safety first.
I think that's a really great tip and message for people, because we see lots of trolls and people who just want to be nuisances. But then, there are unfortunately those rare occasions where there's something that does go beyond that, and there might be a credible threat of something. And so contacting law enforcement is really an important step, and a great message for everyone to make sure that they remember if they're ever in that situation. You talked a little bit about blocking, and hopefully everyone saw through some of our training that we do have a lot of tools. We have ways to restrict things, to hide certain words from content. We have, profanity filters and other tools that can also really be helpful to elevate discussions a little bit and take away from some of the negative stuff that you might see as well. And Esmahan, I know one of the other things that you've mentioned, you're getting some questions about advertising as well.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to ask you, Jennifer. A lot of women now are, more up on the social media advertising game, which is great. It's such an important campaign tactic. But I think that they're getting some really, negative, sometimes harassing comments, and don't know how to deal with that. So what can they do to minimize that, I guess?
Yeah. So I was mentioning, we do have all these tools, and hopefully you saw it through some of the training. We have the tools available, and you can always report as well. Never be afraid to report content or any comments that you're concerned about that might go against our policies. The reporting is anonymous. We're never going to tell the person that you reported them. So that's something that is still available to you with ads. And also think about who you're reaching with your ads. You can really customize the audiences, and that's another way that might be able to help you minimize some of the negative stuff that might appear. Esmahan, any final thoughts for women who are running right now, who are kind of kicking off campaigns and getting engaged?
Well, I just want to say that I am so excited that they are doing that. Their voice is so important. I saw an article here in Calgary the other day that said that there have been more Johns in the history of city council than there have been women or Black people or Indigenous people, which is like shocking and appalling. So the fact that you are running makes you a trailblazer right now. Be confident in yourself, be brave, and know that your voice and your perspective that you are bringing to the table is so important. So many of us are counting on you on, being that change and representing us. So thank you for being brave and stepping forward.
Esmahan, thank you so much for these insights, for sharing your own experience, how you've utilized social media to really help you with your work, and some of the safety tips that you have for the audience as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jennifer.
What a great discussion and such helpful tips. Thank you, Jennifer, Esmahan, and Eleanor. And thank you all for tuning in. We hope this is a resource you can come back to whenever you need it. And if you're looking for more information, I'd encourage you to visit our dedicated Women's Safety Hub, our updated Facebook safety tips for women leaders, as well as a dedicated resource we've developed for candidates running for office in Canada. Thank you and take care.